just had a heavy frost, heavy freeze. I'm going to go ahead first thing in the morning to capture all of the frost. So you can see it really good on the mulch. And of course, all around the yard. I'll do it when the sun comes up too. But this is first thing in the morning. Everything, all my equipment, heavy frost right there, ice. Which I was anticipating. And that's why I put down all of that. Look at my Hookah Culture area. I put down all of those chips and all of the mulch. My Mexican sunflowers, they're like cardboard right now, solid. Let's go over here to my banana plants on the pond. Okay, as you can see, when I'm coming to the pond over here, you can see frost, but it's a little bit less because of the heat on the pond. You can see with the heat, well, maybe not. With the heat of the house, there was less there. Over here, you can see all the frost on the ground. This is where I harvested my bananas yesterday. Well, look at that frost right there. See it? A lot of frost on the banana plant. Look how white all my mulch is over here. But when I come over here, once again, I'll have to show you when the sun comes out, there is water condensation in there, but there's no frost on the inside. There we go. There's no frost on the inside of that mesh. Now there's frost here. You can see this. See, this is all frost right here. It's ice. Frost. But right here, there's no frost. So that shade cloth is a good frost barrier. Once again, same thing. It's probably too dark to see that one. I'll have to wait for the light to come out. But normally, when it gets lighter, the frost dissipates really quick. Yep, no frost in there. Okay, so all up in here, very little frost on the ground. No frost up there, but the yard has a ton of frost, the property over here. So let's go over here. This is a Florida freeze. A lot of frost, and the frost is what damages plants. A freeze will too, if you get a hard freeze that lasts a long time. But as you can see, I got all of these plants covered. And you can see frost down here. But right next to the plant up on top, there's no frost because the chips were a little warm. You can see frost all over this. But down at the base, you don't see any. Those were fresh chips. And there's heat. Here you go. Take an example right here. Some of these got a little frost, but down in here, that actually feels a little warm. There's no frost at the base. Right next to the suckers. So I think that's protecting them pretty good. What do you think? Like I said, I'm out here first thing in the morning. Sun didn't even come up, so it's probably a little hard to see everything I'm showing you, but I'm going to take another walk around once the sun comes up. Here's all those fresh chips I put down. Let's go ahead and walk around the yard this way. Now these are loquat trees. I did not have them covered up, but there is mesh. There is mesh over here. That's the deer mesh. And they look pretty protected. The weeds are protecting them, but they can handle frost. Okay, it's starting to get a little lighter. Now yesterday, I got all that shade cloth away from my garden because I'm going to be pulling that out anyway, so here we go. Down in here, I have the deer netting. There's frost on here, but I don't see any on the ground, but it's all around. So even that deer netting helped. Even the dirt, even the new dirt that I put in has frost. Look at that frost right on the dirt. So let's go into the garden and we'll take a look. We'll take a little walk in here and see how much frost is on my tomatoes and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm getting ready to pull them, so I made a determination, let me take off all my shade cloth and use them on my banana plants because I'm pulling these out anyway. So anyway, yeah, there's frost on all my buds, and I have a lot of tomatoes here, and they feel pretty good. They got a little bit of frost on them. It'd be like taking them out of the refrigerator today. So let's go ahead and check this out. Let me find one. Here's a dark one right here. Okay, here's a nice dark black cherry. It's still a little soft. It's soft. It's not frozen all the way through. Our freeze happened late in the morning and for a short period of time, but it feels like I just took it. It feels like I just took it out of the refrigerator. Tastes great. So these are all my overgrown tomato plants. Towards the end of the season, they get like that. You can see there's tomatoes and everything on them. I've been working on other stuff, so I neglected this for a little bit. But I've been harvesting them, giving them to my neighbors and stuff. So well, let's go out this way. Okay, on the back side over here, this is my Hookah Culture area. Really good cold snap. Got everything iced up. I have nothing growing in it yet. I'm still processing the compost. Got to level it out and keep layering it on there. I went ahead and put this mound of mulch around my dwarf cavendish, and if you can see, there's ice right here, but right up in the center there's no ice, and it feels a little bit of warmth protecting the pup and protecting the plant. So those mulch piles work. And remember, I took mulch. We're going to go over this horse manure, but I took fresh truckloads, and that was fresh. And you can kind of see like a volcano in the center. It's a little warm, and you can see there's no ice crystals in the center. Okay, so let me get out of here. Open up another gate. Now we'll walk over here. This is fresh manure. I don't know if you can see, but there's steam coming out of the top. If I turned it over with the tractor, you'd see a lot more steam. There's no steam on that because that's already composted. Coming over here, this is composted chips ready to go in my front yard. Very little smoke on this end, but this pile over here, the reason why it's separated, there's still smoke coming out of the top. The reason for the smoke coming out, it's still composting, and it's hot. If I put my hand in there, which I should, they're cold right now, it would be nice and warm. So let's continue the tour. My Mexican sunflowers, okay, they just got zapped. They were blossoming the other day, and now they're not. So let's take a little walk around over here. All my deer plot over here is frozen, which it's supposed to have cold, chill hours to turn sugary. So the deer are going to love this now because it finally got to freeze. My ice cream banana plants, the pups, even the pup down there, I don't see any frost. But on the plant, look, can you see this? It's flaking off. That's ice right there. But I did my job. I protected the pups down below. And you can still see that the chips on this side, there's ice, but right up in the center, the way I mounted it, there's no ice crystals. There's crystals up here. Look, you can see it flaking off. But down here, there's no crystal, so that's all protected really well. Now I'm showing you this just so you can see how I protected it. Now over here next to the house, this is my Mexican sunflower. It's got very little on it, but it has it. Oh, but my comfrey, I don't know if you can see that yet, but my comfrey Bakken 14, that's all looking good in there. The heat from the house and the protection from the Mexican sunflower, as it protects with the sun, it puts shade on the comfrey Bakken 14. It also protected from the frost, and the heat of the house comes out, and that's all looking good in there. Okay, so here we go with the ice crystals all over my yard, all over my neighbors, all over the banana plants. Let's take a better look. You can see that it's on the ground, but it's not up in the center, so those are protected. And I think the pond had a little bit of effect on it. Now you can see a little bit better. You can see right here, those are no frost on them. There's frost on the leaves, but not in what I did. Even up there, that was a new section coming out. Right in here, no frost. That I didn't want frost on those. I don't know if the cold, just for a short freeze, is too cold for these new ones or not. I would think for these to freeze, it would have to be you know, 24, 48 hours or more to really freeze them. So I kind of think, just by the looks of having no frost, the temperature in there and right next to the plant in here is probably less. At least the moisture is less. Not enough condensation to form. There was not enough condensation to form frost in there. But there is moisture on all of that. But right up in here where I had that mulch, see, that mulch is new that I brought in yesterday. I don't see any on the inside over here. I don't see any frost. So I think I'm gonna be okay. But once again, that was an experiment. I have nothing to lose by trying to keep the frost off of the bananas, which I did. Of course, I harvested my bananas over here, and those bananas were the ones that I pruned. They went to fruit in 6 months, and plus 2 months to get fat and plump. I didn't want to leave them out because I thought this would happen, so they're in the house, nice and safe, and hopefully they're gonna start turning yellow in the next few days. So anyway, this is what it looks like. I'm out here in shorts with a flannel shirt. My hand holding the camera is starting to freeze. I'm not used to this cold because we only have it every now and then. And I'll be on my tractor here shortly. I have some chores to do. So, but I'm gonna go inside the house now. Go on the forum, chat a little bit. Go ahead and start processing this video and finish my coffee. So anyway, here we are in sunshiny Florida. We had a little bit of a blimp over here of a frost, a heavy frost. And it's actually a freeze too, I would think. But my tomato plants, my tomatoes were soft. I tasted them. They just felt like they were out of the refrigerator. So since the tomatoes just feel like they came out of a refrigerator, I would think those bananas with the banana covering the peel is protecting the inside. Plus I have the shade cloth. Plus the mulch is giving off heat from below, like you could tell. I think they're gonna be good. We'll see. Hopefully we don't have back-to-back days of all this. But once again, how many hours of a freeze does it take to freeze something in your freezer? When you notice when you bring stuff home, it takes a little bit. Well, all night long it wasn't freezing. It just freezes between 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the morning. Maybe not even that. And then all this here will be gone shortly, and it will heat up somewhat above freezing. And I don't think that's enough to damage anything. But I could be wrong. But at least I did my part in trying to protect what I could. And I think I protected all my banana plants. You got to see what I did. There's different ways to do it. The normal homeowner will take out a blanket and a sheet and do it, which works great. You know how many sheets and blankets I would have had to use. So I used what's readily available to me. And I knew we may be getting a frost, so I stocked up and I was ready to jump on it just before the freeze came. So hope you enjoyed. Back at you.